AJ, did you? This is so dumb. Did you see that Rockstar finally took down Agent from their list of games on their website?
I'm sure you were absolutely devastated. Or you're just like, no, it's just a cover-up. This goes all the way to the top.
All the way to the top. Of course. It's a PSVR 2 launch title, man. It's like they're trying to remain secret.
I need that sound effect that goes, dun, dun, dun.
For all of my conspiracy theories. Oh man, it's too funny though. It's too funny. It was actually, I think Screen Rant or Game Rant or whatever, one of those ridiculous websites. It was actually like a news story for them. They're like, it looks like Agent might finally be canceled, and I was like, pretty sure we all thought it was canceled about 10 years ago.
Not some of us, Brian.
No, I definitely think we may see the game one day.
I think the truth is out there though.
Nice. I want to believe. Can we start the show?
Let's do it.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you, that's right, live right here on YouTube. And if you don't like seeing our faces, and I can imagine that some of you don't, I got a big complaint about our big heads being on camera while we talk about games on a podcast. If that's too much for you, man, if you can't handle these two heads right here being this big in your face, well, we are also, my friend, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. That is a sexy, sexy face, my friend. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole. And the guy to my right, can't do this without partner in crime, AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Gamecats? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hopefully you've been doing lots of humping. And if we interrupted you, I apologize. But just continue. We'll talk you through it. We'll say some sexy things to spice it up a little bit.
And talk us through. I need an instructional humping video, AJ. Bring it to me. Tips video, please. And thank you.
Yeah, humping can be a dangerous thing if you're not careful. If you don't do it safely, you know.
I've heard. Maybe one day I'll experience it for myself. We got in the chat Jeremy, the NES rookie with the New Zealand $2, says, at work at the moment, but we'll catch you later. We'll see you later.
Catch you later, dude.
Future past.
That's my
Jeremy,
boy.
NES rookie. Yeah?
That's my boy right there. He does all my timestamps for my Saturday Night live streams, and I appreciate you very much.
He's your sci-fi Gamecat Henry.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, we all need a sci-fi Gamecat Henry in our lives.
Right, we do. It's so nice.
Awesome, dude. Man, we've got a lot of news to talk about, but I think some people might be tuning in today to hear about Song in the Smoke, the review, the impression, all the embargo for all of that stuff is tomorrow, so we will not be able to talk about it until that game comes out. And but trust me when I say that we are going to cover it extensively. We're going to have some videos on the channel scheduled, and then AJ and I will probably be streaming it simultaneously, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna cross the streams, Brian. We're
Thanks.
Gonna take down Gozer.
So yeah, and you know, without saying anything, I think I think it'll be fun to bounce back and forth between AJ's stream and my stream tomorrow. So make sure that you subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground, and we'll walk you through it step by step. Oh, it's gonna be Thursday though. We can't do an instructional hump day video.
Mighty kind of you, Brian, to shout out my channel like that.
I heard you have a channel. I've heard you have a Twitter account too, but that's just, I don't know, man. I just can't be bothered.
No, that's serious. You forget the YouTube channel. You gotta go to my Twitter, man. That's where it's at.
That's right. I suppose. So we're going to kick off the show with a little bit of, I guess, negative news, if you want to put it that way. Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife by Fast Travel Games got a slight delay. How slight is that delay, AJ? I'm going to rhyme everything.
They posted up a thing on Twitters, and they sent us, of course, some emails. And they said, today we would like to share a development update for Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife on PSVR. We have made the decision to push the release date by 22 days, with the new release date being October 27th. We appreciate all the support so far and understand that it can be disappointing to wait a little bit longer. We are making this tough decision to ensure the game is delivered with the best possible experience for you.
Now, AJ, I'm no mathematician. Okay, it's not something I didn't go to school for math or arithmetic or algebra, calculus. But the game was supposed to come out on the 7th and is now coming out on the 27th. How is that 22-day delay? It's
wait,
20 days.
when did
It was supposed to be out tomorrow, the 7th, and now it's coming out the 27th. Like, that's pretty easy math. It's not a 22-day delay. It's 20 days, man. Like,
Did I say that right? Yeah.
you said
you're
it right. The developers of the game got it wrong, which I don't know. I mean, it's such a simple mistake, but the press release was only this long. It was like you got half the press release wrong. But we're obviously giving them a hard time. But honestly, I don't think anyone's terribly disappointed. I think still getting it this month is essential. We get a nice spooky game closer to October, and in my book, that's perfect.
Closer to Halloween.
Yeah, did I say closer to October? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's all the same, man. It's all the same. It all runs together. I'm going to be celebrating Halloween until November 39th. So
Yeah.
December 8th
I
or
mean,
something.
to me, I'll be honest with you. I was getting really worried because, we're supposed to be reviewing the game, supposed to have, typically we get the game a little early.
Yeah.
And I get really, really suspicious when we get embargoed and then there's no review keys. And so I was like, oh man, are they like, because sometimes that's happened to us before, where they will embargo the game knowing that it's absolute shit or the state of it is shit. And then they say, yeah, sure, you can review it. Oh, the embargo's way after release.
Right.
And we're just
like
like,
the day after or
And-
wicked late in the same day after it
Yeah.
goes live on the store. It's very, very strange.
So I was just really glad that that it actually just ended up getting delayed, and and I don't know what the problem is, but I always in most cases, I mean, we've kind of waited a long time for this game. At least it's still in October, right?
Right, yeah.
That's the one thing. If they were like, we're going to delay this to November or December, I'd be like, oh my God, you done fucked it up. But yeah, the fact that it's still October, it's like, okay, you're playing a little close, but it's fine. I can deal with this. It's still spooky month. It's still in the mood, and there's supposed to be some other updates happening and whatnot, so should be fine. Everything is fine. Please be okay.
I see Shades of Grey Matter in the chat saying he doesn't mind that it's a little late as long as it doesn't feel like a direct quest port like Layers of Fear. And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Luckily, what at least Andreas Juliusson, their PR guy, our community manager, was saying was that...
Because you can always trust the PR guy, huh, Andreas?
Yeah, for sure,
No,
for sure.
He's a good dude.
Absolutely. But the feeling he's conveying is that it's certainly going to be a much closer port to the PC VR version with real-time shadows and just a really, really nice. It's going to look better than the Quest or Quest 2 version, which I'm really happy about because it really is just too easy for people to give us a quick Quest port these days. PSVR is
It better because that's a game. A horror game needs that extra lighting and effects.
Yeah.
You saw what happened with Layers of Fear 2 or whatever it was called. This game did have some of the atmosphere and some of the atmosphere and just graphical look to it kind of held back a little bit by that hardware. So really hope that they beef it up a little bit, give it some lighting, give it a little bit more effects, and don't have another Tarzan looking game.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Tarzan turned out to be halfway okay eventually in the long run. It's not the worst thing ever anymore. It doesn't.
After an update, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it still does. It still could look so much better, and probably play a little bit better too, and probably be about half as much. If it was like a $12 game, it'd be like, hey, Tarzan's a little bit of fun. Anyway, we should probably move on. What's our next news story,
Let's
AJ?
move on because, wow, the Binary Mill. Actually, let me tell you something. Binary Mill is probably one of my favorite developers.
Oh, yeah?
And I hate to say that because it seems like every time I say that, something bad happens.
It's because of Mini Motor Racing X, isn't it? That's the reason?
Well, I like a lot of things about Mini Motor Racing X, but let me tell you about this game called Gun Club VR, Brian.
Okay.
They posted today on Twitter with a brand new picture that says coming soon, and they said, oil up them shooting irons. Gun Club VR Wild West update is almost here. So the thing is, is that so? This is a Western update coming to Gun Club VR. For those who don't know, it's very much like a gun simulator, like a gun shooting range simulation thing.
Mhm.
But they make it a lot more fun than just shooting targets because they have a lot of themes to them. The game already has like a World War II theme, zombies, hostage rescue, and like they like they're cardboard like cutouts or whatever, but they like come at you, they make noises, and it's a pretty dope game. It's actually a really good game, and yeah, now they're adding a Wild West theme to it, Ryan.
Which is exciting, I guess. I mean, the last piece of DLC that we got for Gun Club was was actually paid DLC. So I'm a little curious to see how this is all going to go. The last one was the SWAT DLC, which I don't quite remember was $6 or $7, but it had a ton of content. So I can only imagine that after Rush VR and Mini Motor Racing X, this is their most popular game of the group of games that they've released. Everyone loves guns, especially realistic guns, and so
Yes.
and so I feel like in order to keep funding their development for future games, like they better just keep going back to the well and basically trying to make more money off of the game that they've sold the most copies of. So this is a pretty smart move, I guess. Do you expect this to also be a paid DLC like SWAT?
That's a good question. I don't know, but what I can say is that, like SWAT, this is probably going to come to PSVR after
Well,
PC and Quest.
not just probably, but definitely.
Okay.
They just
Well,
tweeted about that about 20 minutes ago, I think. And
okay.
they said it won't be there at launch, which is disappointing, but also par for the course at this point. I don't think we've gotten the party pack for Mini Motor Racing X yet. Like that was supposed to be a multiplayer bunch of party games that we're supposed to get, and that was supposed to be forever ago. So this could be a little late, or this could be forever late.
Yeah. Some of the comments made me laugh. So yeah, this was actually the SWAT DLC was actually a great Christmas Day surprise. I think I streamed it on Christmas Day.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it came out late, so I wonder if they'll do that again, where we'll get like Wild West on Christmas. I don't know. But overall, really great game. I still want them. I was going to say about Mini Motor Racing X, there's two things I do really love about that game. It is visually a beautiful game. But one is it has Bumper Ball, which is basically Rocket League in VR, like mini Rocket League, I should say, in VR. Super cool, though. Super fun. The other thing is like they updated Mini Motor Racing X with the in-game steering wheel. And I don't think anyone else has done the in-game steering wheel as good as they have yet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think all I know are the VR case files. Probably pretty much nailed it.
Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But you're driving like,
Big fucking boat down the street. It's totally different.
But yeah, super cool stuff, man.
Yeah, Wolveraza in the chat said that reminds us that the SWAT DLC came with the ability to move around. It gives you full locomotion.
Full locomotion.
As well as the new maps and the gun stuff. I'm wondering if they've got anything new mechanic wise for us, or is it just a new map, new enemies, that kind of thing? Because full locomotion, I think, was a surprise to us.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the SWAT DLC, like I played it for a couple hours, which felt like I got my money's worth, but it was like I played it and it was great, and then I never went back. So this will probably be the same thing where it's like, yeah, that was fun, and then like I'm done with it.
It'll be nice when PSVR 2 gets here, won't it? When PSVR 2 is the lead platform and everyone else gets our leftovers later.
Yes, that's right.
It's been
have the sloppy seconds.
God, it's been a long way, but we're gonna get there eventually, guys. I promise.
Hey, I'm not complaining. We've gotten how many exclusives lately?
Oh God, yeah, dude, it's been great, man. It's been better than it should be for PSVR. So
it really has been. Got the games, man. That's all I care about.
Man, you're gonna have to like really teach me about this next news story here, because I have not followed up with it at all, being something that I actively despise.
Well, the Espire 1, which is a stealth kind of game, futuristic stealth game, is getting an update. I think it's supposed to be today, and it is called Invictus and adds a new map and other features. But right now, of course, again, it is only for the Oculus Quest, and that's because I think this Oculus Quest is the only platform that this game did well on. Every other platform, I think actually I talked to them. I interviewed these guys.
Yeah.
I think, and they were actually pretty cool about the whole situation. They knew that they had gotten in over their head. But I reached out to one of the developers, the one that I've been in contact with, and and I have yet to hear back. I know he's usually a little bit late to respond to stuff, so I'm going to give him some time. But yeah, the new map adds like a bunch of new challenges and a slew of things. Let's see. It says the Invictus updates includes some challenges features. Let's see. The Cooper Petty. I don't know. It takes us to a remote underground mining town in South Australia.
It sounds adorable. Cooper Petty. Who's a Cooper Petty?
Cooper Petty.
I just want to pet you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, Brian. The reason I'm able to enjoy this game is because the big thing I liked about this game was the challenges. I think the challenges are super fun, and they actually force you to be stealthy, or they force you to do combat. They don't say play how you like and then like make it like loosely like able to do whatever you want. And the challenges are great. So me having already beaten the campaign, which is kind of rough, I can enjoy these updates. But for new people, it's a little bit of a different story.
Well, let me ask you a question, since we're sort of on the topic already with the last story being the Gun Club Wild West DLC.
Yeah.
What kind of responsibility do you think that developers should take when they release a game on a platform and then it doesn't sell, and then they go, well, we're just going to like release DLC or updates on this other platform that did sell well? Do you think they have any responsibility toward the few people that might have bought it on PlayStation VR? Or do you think they just go, fuck it, man, like you guys didn't buy it, we're out of here? Like, is that fair?
I don't know. I mean, it depends, really. Not everybody can be like the amazing saints and sinners and release updates on all platforms simultaneously.
But I mean, or just not bringing it all, man. Like, it's one thing to have a delay, but it's another thing to be like, well, we don't even know if this is coming to PSVR, right? And I do think that if you're a developer, big or small, you better be prepared to support the few people that bought it on a platform, even if it didn't sell well.
There are people that like this game like quite a bit. So when I talked to him before, he definitely made it sound like, that he is going to that they plan future content for PSVR, because he said while they had a god awful launch that we all remember, some of us remember,
horrible, yeah.
They had a horrible launch, but he said as they started adding updates to the game, fixing the game, that the game started doing a lot better. So to me, it sounded like they're just not prioritizing it because they've had massive success on the Quest. But so I think it could possibly come to us just at a later date, as we usually have been seeing.
I hope so. For people who enjoy this game, or people who spent their hard-earned money on it, especially at launch when it was $30, which felt really expensive for what you were getting. You absolutely need to support those people. You need to remind those people that their money was well spent. That even if things were rough at launch, we're still here. We're going to keep updating the game, and we're going to keep bringing you the DLC. Don't make you feel bad that you made the wrong choice and bought it on the wrong platform. Like, these are choices that developers have to make, and if you're going to release it on all platforms, you better fucking be there to support every platform that you released a game on. Otherwise, expect to get massive blowback from that. It's just,
if I was in developer shoes, of course it'd be a lot more work. Of course, it's probably a little bit more complicated than it seems. But a lot of the times, it just seems like these are just decisions. It's up to a couple people to make a decision, and that's the decision they're going with. But no, that's why I would absolutely be releasing on all platforms that the game is out on, and try to have a simultaneous release. Because we've seen again that jumping the gun and whatnot doesn't always work out. I mean, in their case, it's a little unique. But for most games, like the Ultra Wings 2, like they're they could probably get a little burned by that because the people that are going to actually play the game the most are, even if it's on the smaller platform with the less active user base, I should say, at this time, you're going to get the people that really dive deep on the PlayStation side.
Just an update. Twitcher, the single-player Gamecat, says, I've been to Cooper Petty in IRL. It's not adorable. He says it's a rough as fuck miners town where everybody lives underground. That sounds like my kind of place. Maybe not. Nice. I just want to live underground. That's really the extent of it.
And yeah, and when I say that, the player base is more like people play more to stuff to completion on PlayStation, that's not something I'm making up. That is data that I've been given in the past from developers. So,
well, when you're not even allowed to release your game on Quest, Swordsman, then how could you possibly spend any time with it on Quest? Also, that thing is fucking uncomfortable as all motherfucking hell. How could you spend more than 30 minutes in it? The answer is you don't. Play PSVR for the win. Moving on to the next news story, AJ.
The next news story, Brian, is a very, very strange one. And that is the unfortunate news that there's some good news and some bad news here. And that is the state of Panzer Dragoon VR is currently unknown and is believed to be canceled, which I don't know how you feel about it, Brian, but tell me how you feel about it.
First and foremost, Looper the Gamecat with the €2 says California Rest in Peace simultaneous release. I didn't get the rhythm down.
California Rest in Peace simultaneous release.
And there you have it. I hope you got your €2 out of that, Looper. Thank you so much. Dude, okay, so here's the thing, right? We know that Panzer Dragoon Voyage Record VR isn't being made by Sega proper. It was just like Space Channel 5. It got kind of farmed out. Somebody bid on it, and they took an offer. Some other developer is making Panzer Dragoon Voyage Record. And so it's been a long time since we've heard about it. It sounds like they announced it the second that they got the rights to make it, like long before like pre-production even started. The only thing we've ever seen of it, this obviously the footage down here is from like the Switch remaster or Switch remake. We've never seen any environments or even, I don't think, any real 3D images of Voyage Record. So it's not to say like, oh, because we haven't seen anything, it must be canceled or it must be in development hell. We know that it takes a long time to get a game to a place where it's worth showing to people, right? It very well could be a year or two before it gets to that point, especially if the dev team's kind of small. So I was just expecting to not hear anything about this for a while, but then to hear that it was potentially canceled, I was like, oh, well, this is interesting.
Well, let me tell you why it's believed to be canceled, Brian.
Please do.
Video Games Chronicle posted an article that says this. A tweet posed by the official Panzer Dragoon Voyage Record Twitter account stated that the game had been canceled due to the death of the producer Haruto Watanabe. The tweet, which was posted in both English and Japanese, read, Panzer Dragoon Voyage Record has been canceled due to the cancellation of the contract by Sega and the death of the producer. A few hours later, Brian, both versions of the tweet were deleted, and a number of Watanabe's friends reported that he was still alive. So, like they said that people went and visited him and made sure he was okay. How weird what must have that have been to like it'd be like me calling you one day. It'd be like, Brian, are you alive? Tell me you're alive. Everyone's saying you're dead. What's going on? And you're like, no, I'm okay. What's up, man?
I wouldn't tell you, dude. If I looked on Twitter and saw that people reported me dead, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like I'm like AJ calls, I don't answer the phone. PSVR Gamecast Live doesn't happen anymore. I'm just gonna roll with it, man. Be like, shh. Right? I'm just gonna...
We'll go busted. Yeah, you'll be all your lights will be out, and you'll be hiding in your blanket for.
I'm gonna take a month off, man, before I resurface, and then be like, oh, I was just on vacation. I wasn't actually dead. Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated, as the quote goes. Yeah,
Man, but
I
yeah,
think it
what
would
a
be fun to
bizarre
be dead.
situation. But do you think, Brian, that it is canceled?
Well, dude, I have no idea. Part of me thinks that they were going for an excuse and being like, "Oh, well, this is just." I mean,
Right.
because honestly, if the producer of a game dies, right, like one person on a dev team dies, even if that was true, that was the case, that's enough to
Somebody
be like
takes
we're canceling the contract. No, you hire a new
right,
producer, or just somebody gets promoted and moves up to that spot.
right,
Maybe I don't know.
right.
Maybe somebody in game development in the chat, Tiffany,
I mean,
fucking
unless
tell us
this
if
guy
that's
was
accurate.
doing, unless the guy was doing everything for the game, you know.
Which is
But this is a
possible.
contract from Sega, so yeah, maybe they were. I don't know. It's very strange. Maybe you can get your sleuthing going and get to the bottom of it, Brian. Here's a conspiracy for you. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if the game is canceled because we've only seen like a couple screenshots of like some artwork. This was originally unveiled on Upload VR, like one of their showcases, and we were like, oh, cool. And then it like showed it, and it was like just like a drawing, like a hand drawing, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess there's a long time before this comes out. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's canceled, but you know, who knows?
It just seems like a weird way to go about it. It seems like if they were looking for an excuse to cancel it, and they were like, well, we'll just pretend that he died. And then some people came out like they didn't get the memo that said we're trying to make it seem like you died. And so people blew it up before it was. I did see Alberto Mapam, the Game Gato, in the chat says Brian's the new Paul McCartney. That's one of my favorite conspiracy theories of all time.
Oh, right.
Absolutely
Yeah,
love it.
I was thinking of a couple other ones, but
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
Tiff does confirm in the chat, one person does not cancel a project. You're correct, Brian. So that is good to hear that we have some idea about what happens. I mean, I don't think it was a stretch to say that games don't get canceled because one person on a team dies. Anyway, time to move on, man. We'll see what happens with this game eventually.
All right, it is time to move on to our review of Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey. Disclaimer: Servius provided us with some review codes, but as you guys know, that never sways us. We will always bring you honesty, honest impressions, honest opinions. So, as we usually do with our review format, we talk about the things that we really liked first, Brian. And then we go into the stuff we didn't like after. So let's go ahead and start with what did you like, Brian?
I liked that I had a giant dinosaur paw. It was adorable.
I did too.
Right? And there's something, I don't know what it is. The same thing happened to me with D-Magnet. When the first thing I do when I drop into any game that uses the move controllers, I look down and I look at my hands because I really want to see what my hands are going to look like. And I love when they're oversized. And in this case, it was a dinosaur paw with a giant bubble shooter. And I was like, I just love when things are oversized. And looking at my paw, I was like, man, maybe I'm a furry because this is adorable, and I absolutely love this. And I wish I was a baby dinosaur. Just absolutely adorable. And that goes for the aesthetics as a whole. Everything in this game is just beautiful, man. It's bright and colorful and shiny, and it feels like you're on a summer vacation the entire time.
Yeah, aside from Servius's first game, Raw Data, their games have typically looked pretty beautiful. And having an island tropical paradise kind of thing with some mountains and deserts and different stuff, I really liked the environments. I thought and graphically they're really good. I love Bobble. I've been playing the hell out of it, the remastered one on PS1. So I really enjoyed seeing Bub and Bob in VR, and like you said, having the big giant dino paws was like super adorable, and the whole look to it and everything was pretty nice.
I do love, not to derail this, I do love that the chat is chiming in about the dinosaur paw. Twitcher, the single player Gamecat, says Brian Paul adorable count. We're up to 2. Darkwing Chuck says Brian Paul, I'm a fury. I'm a furry. You heard it here, folks. And then J Meow says, Brian, you're definitely a furry. So, that's totally possible. Anyway, but yes, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I mean that's I was just saying how much I think the game looks great, and I love the Bobble franchise. And at least I never played a lot of bust and move and stuff, but I do typically like collect the match 3 kind of games. And I liked that this has some kind of multiplayer in it. It was kind of fun. I helped you with your review, and we jumped in and played some multiplayer, and we're just like popping puzzles and racing against each other. And the way the multiplayer works is there's a big black hole in the sky, and you both have these puzzles that are popping up constantly, and you have to get rid of them before they get sucked up. And if they get sucked up into the thing, you lose. And it was fun, like looking over and seeing you over there, just like shooting stuff. And I thought it was a pretty cool concept. It's similar to the thing, but multiplayer is always great. So it was nice to be able to play it with you.
Yeah, this game overall has a pretty high level of polish. It just feels like a lot of love was put into the look and feel of it. And having 3 game modes is great because I think the campaign can get a little frustrating. And so being able to say, you know what, I'm taking a break from the campaign. I'm going to jump over to the endless mode, or infinite, I think they call it. And I'm going to go play that for a little while and see if I can rack up a new high score. And so having the ability to kind of jump between, and then also play with a random person online or play with your friends is great. And of course, this is cross-play with PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 flat screen versions. So hopefully now that it's out, it shouldn't be too difficult to get a game going because you only need one other person. That was my favorite thing about Spark, was that, it didn't matter. Like when Spark was popular, it didn't matter. You didn't need to get like 6 or 7 or 8 people together to play a game. You only needed one other person, and even if there was no one online playing, you just go, hey, anybody want to play Spark? And someone's like, yeah, I'll play. It's all you need to get a game going. Real quick, sorry, Red Rover, the effing Gamecat, with a $20 tip, says because you both are super adorable. Does that count toward my adorable count? Does that make me
good to see you, homie? Dargans.
Yeah, big time. I feel like Red Rover's been MIA for a few episodes. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Now we'll switch gears here in a second, Brian. But I will say, there was something about it. I definitely have some issues to talk about with this game. Of
course.
That we'll get to very soon. But I will say there is something in the back of my head that is just like, I kind of want to go back and play, it's easy to pick up and play, and I kind of want to jump in and beat a few levels and then stop and then go back and beat a few levels and stop. Like there's something a little addicting about it in short bursts. That is kind of nice, but it was fun to kind of just pick up again for a little bit. It's easy and I like that I do like, even though it's rather simple, I do like that there is some kind of move implementation of, hey, you got to load these in here and shoot. And you're it's basically like a slingshot game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it feels like we're playing Angry Birds VR all over again. That was, that was the last time, kind of
different mechanics.
But still the slingshot is here you go. You're basically doing the same thing. So yeah. I will say before we move on that I really, really enjoyed the move controls, just the way that the shooting felt, and also that the power-ups weren't just, hey, select a power-up and now you're using it. One of my favorite power-ups is the kind of like a grenade or a bomb or something, and what it does is as soon as you select it, it brings up a giant chili pepper for you to eat on a stick, and you bring it close to your mouth, you eat it, and now your dinosaur is breathing fire, which sounds awesome, but at the same time you're like, well, and then you actually have to take the bomb that they've given you and put it close to your mouth so that you ignite the wick, and then you put it into your bubble shooter. It's like this big elaborate process just to use one power up, and I thought that was count it, adorable, and also VRAF, which is something we look for, and which is why I've basically said to people, if you're not going to play this in VR, don't play it, because if you're going to play it, the best way to play it is with the move controllers in VR. Otherwise, I'm kind of don't bother, not interested. And I think that all the reasons why we're not interested in this game are going to be abundantly clear as we move into all the things we didn't like about this game right now?
Oh boy, yeah. I have a lot of problems with this game in so many ways. I think it's just okay overall. I think it's like okay. It's not horrible,
Right.
but I also think it's not great either. And it's noticeable from the very first few levels that like the pacing of the story mode and the pacing of the game itself is kind of like these 1 minute round bursts, and then they're over, and then you wait, and then you go to the next level, and then it's 1 minute round burst, like you kind of finish it in like a minute or two, and then you have to stop, go through the menu, like it doesn't keep going in the story mode. And like the gameplay, the gameplay itself is a little strange because like when we were reading about it, it was saying like, oh, it's kind of physics based a little bit, and like you have to like aim and whatnot. But what it is like you pull back the slingshot, and then like it like tells you where it's gonna land.
Right.
But then it like kind of goes brrrr, like it'll bounce around, and like especially if you're trying to move fast, it's very shaky. Like it doesn't. So like the core gameplay itself has some major flaws, and that is a problem for something that you're going to be doing for 100 levels and an endless mode and a multiplayer mode.
Yeah. It really could have used a lock-on button. I think because I think the developers
Right.
seem to think that getting the proper aim is part of this game's charm, which it's not. It never has been. Not really. Like when you play this in 2D, it has a dramatically different feel. Like you can basically see where your thing's going to land, and you like getting it wrong. You only get it wrong because you're rushing or trying to do it fast. This you could take plenty of time, line it up, and think you know exactly where it's going to go, and at the absolute last second, it goes from here and goes dink, and then you fire, and you're like fuck, right? And it's like so just a lock-on button would have gone so far with this.
Yeah.
And
And
honestly,
it's not like you're doing a whole lot.
right?
You're just picking up, or you're just shooting a slingshot. So yeah, like why wasn't there like it could have
Right.
had another button to lock on there or something.
Yeah, Agent Jack Bauer in the chat says, "Have you two ever played Bust a Move?" I definitely have. There's been so many of them, and also so many copies of the game, so many clones over the years that I just I've played a ton of it over the years and loved it. I always thought it was a fun little game to pass the time. Right up there with like Tetris style games or Match 3 style games. I think it's awesome. But this I feel like didn't capture what made those games great, which is the problem. Like this, you go like, oh, we're bringing it into 3D for the first time. There's your first problem, right? Because there are so many things going on within the puzzle, right? There's all these bubbles on the outside, and you can't see what's on the inside. So like planning ahead is just not an option. And on top of that, I don't think they actually explained this very well. Like the core concept of the game is not explained well, where it seems like, I think everyone who plays this, I was watching Dave's stream last night, and I think I talked to you when we were first playing this together, and I feel like no one understands the core concept here. It's not just get rid of all the bubbles. It's
Right.
it's get rid of all the bubbles except for one strand that's coming off the core. That one strand can, as long as there's only one bubble attached to the core, that one bubble could have 2,000 other bubbles attached to it, and you're still able to knock out the core. Like that's your goal, and that's all part of the puzzle solving. And they don't really explain that in this game, which is really strange to me.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's they do explain that the object is to get rid of the core or get it. They basically word it as you have to get at least like there has to be like one or two remaining bubbles on the core before you can pop it or whatever. And yeah, they did mess up the explanation, but man, like there's so many problems I have with this game, to be honest with you. Like the depth of it is like there's like no depth to it at all. It's like very much the way I can describe it. Like I'm happy that it has a multiplayer and an endless mode. I think that's at least some content there. But the gameplay itself really is designed almost like something you'd see in a mobile game. Like it has like even though it has an interactive slingshot that you can use, like it's really like a lot like a mobile game to me. And it's also extra grindy. where you have to like grind for these coins to use those power ups and whatnot. And I don't know. When I first saw this game, I was like, man, I'm not the puzzle guy. It's definitely not for me. But I love Bobble and was like, and Braxpo asked, does it have the Bobble theme? No, it has a different theme.
No.
To it.
I would be curious to know if these songs come from Bust a Move, because it's been so long since I've played a Bust a Move game that I wonder if some of these tunes would be a little nostalgic. They're like updated versions of the old chiptune music.
Yeah, but I just found this game to be pretty disappointing, and I think it looks great, and I think it's like okay, but like I said, it's Survios, and I've had these high expectations for Survios, and I gotta say, man, like I think I'm off the Survios train now. Like I thought Raw Data was amazing for when it came out, and I loved Sprint Vector, but ever since then, the games they've been releasing since then have I just don't know, man. I don't know if they have new developers or if they just don't care anymore, or if they're just maybe just cashing in on like IPs and whatnot, because that's being the thing that's successful for them, maybe. But yeah, man, I'm no longer like really hyped for like any Survios game anymore, unfortunately, which is sad because I thought they were going to be like the kings of VR.
Yeah.
And this is just not an example. This is an example of just like I don't know. It's super disappointing.
It's disappointing, but I also think that, again, a bunch of developers are in the exact same boat. I know I've said this 1,000 times, so I apologize for repeating myself, but I do think a bunch of developers are in the same boat as Survio, saying that they're kind of putting all their eggs in the next-gen VR basket. And so I think they've probably had a next-gen big, single A, whatever you want to call it, game in development for a while. And then when Sony sort of backburnered the PlayStation VR 2 for an extra year, these developers were like, well, what the fuck do we do right now for income? So I think that, these guys and Impulse Gear with Larcenauts, they're just saying, well, what game can we quickly make that we think will sell a bunch, that isn't going to cost us a ton, and we'll keep the money rolling in while we wait for PSVR 2 to get here. It makes so much sense to me. And I think, as far as they're concerned, I think they're doing the right thing, because they need to keep the money rolling in. And if Quest is going to be if Quest is going to be the cash cow for the next year, well, then fucking keep making these like sort of mobile style games, the smaller games that can actually run on Quest and do things for your biggest audience. It sucks. But Agent Jack Bauer again in the chat asking the good question says, do you think patches could help this out? And I think possibly. I think
a little bit, yeah. Because I don't think it's a complete lost cause, but there's a problem with it, is that it's so boring right now. Like, it's so boring to play, and like it's just not very interesting or super fun or exciting. Like it's pretty boring, and it almost feels like I said, either a children's game or like a mobile game. And I don't know. I just expect a lot more from Survios, and I know that maybe it's trying to be true to the franchise, true to Puzzle Bobble, but I just don't think it works. I don't think it works well at all.
They didn't nail what made Bust a Move fun, and that was the most important thing here, more than anything else. And I just don't think they nailed that, unfortunately. And so it's it's okay to pass the time, but I certainly, when I was playing it, I was like, I don't even want. I beat a level and go, I don't even want to play the next level, So and eventually I sort of got over that and was like, okay, I'm making progress, and I'm figuring out that the puzzles are making more sense and trying to look for the trick in each one. I get it, but yeah, it just wasn't super fun.
You're 100% playing it for review and not for fun.
Oh, absolutely. If I'd purchased this, I probably, again, I think I said it in the review, I probably would have stopped at the third stage. And luckily it does get better. And there are, the power-ups keep it interesting, and the different objectives keep it interesting. So there is a solid game here that just needs a little bit more love, I think.
I think it could be improved greatly with some patches or maybe some additional content or something to mix it up a little bit. And I think there are a couple people out there. I don't think many people, but I think a couple people will like it, just for a simple. Like I said, it's so casual. It's so easy to pick up and play. I think there's a little small audience for it.
We've got a couple tips to take care of here. First one comes from Genetic Blasphemy, the reverse engineered Gamecat with the $5 tip. Says, AJ, name of Dreams game that was all trippy walking sim. I asked already and forgot already. You guys are the best. Also, all the cats. Am drowsy.
Genetic, it's called The Web, and I'm going to do a Dreams feature on it really soon.
Nice.
Just been a little bit busy behind the snes, playing lots of stuff and making lots of content. But yeah, it's called The Web, and you may have to turn off hide all non-VR content when you search for it in Dreams. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to see this thing, Brian. It's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see if they finish it. But my God, is it stunning to look at. And it's basically a walking sim, but you can like choose different paths. And it's absolutely incredible. I played it on one of my Saturday Night Live streams not too long ago when I played Dreams. And it is visually stunning. It's one of those dreams that makes you go like, holy crap, I didn't know PSVR 1 could look this good.
Love it.
And it does.
Dreams continuing to blow people away. I love it. Love it. We also got KillSL777 _forever with a $2 tip. Doesn't say anything. I looked. Also continued on to say anything.
I'll say it for him. It's KillSL, baby.
That's right. We also got Ben Dawson with the $5 in the chat. Says, flat screen confession time. I played BPM, bullets per minute today. It would be so much fun in VR. I gotta be honest, I'm not familiar with that one.
Bullets per minute. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I don't know.
If it's not on Switch, then I probably haven't played it. It might be on Switch even. That's the only thing I'm playing outside of PSVR these days.
Yeah. But yeah, man, overall, like I said, I think if you pick this game up, I think it's a super, super, super deep sale kind of game. I mean, I would not want to pay very much for it.
$5 or
it's
$6,
$20,
right?
which yeah, it is $20, which like thank God they didn't ask for any more of that.
Yeah.
Like if they asked for more than that, I'd be like, okay, that is absolutely just some cash grab bullshit. But yeah, you know, really appreciate the developers giving us review keys, but unfortunately, it's not something I can really recommend. And yeah, I really want to see. I pray to God that we see Survios really get back to form of what they started out as, because I feel like they entered the VR scene with like a ton of promise and like a ton of talent, ton of promise, ton of creative vision that was awesome. And I feel like for the last couple of years now, they've just been messing something up one after the other. I mean, either fun games that are shallow or big games that are like flawed and messed up. And like I just want to see them get it together, get all the corners correct.
Yeah, I think that's what we want to see from all VR developers, honestly. Like that's, we don't want to see anyone get left behind when next gen hits. This is the proving ground right now, though. It's like what is everyone doing in the interim, while we wait for PSVR 2. It's like, are you able to, sustain income while you wait for the next gen consoles to arrive? Or, do you have to like kind of just shit out some nonsense in order to keep the money rolling in? This is a huge proving ground right now. We got Scott Jesco, PSN Harry Fellow, PSVR Gamecat for Life, Future Past Scott with the $2 says, pizza slice from the front line, watched in 7 hours. 7 hours, man. I hope I'm asleep in 7 hours. Right now. Pizza always sounds good. I got so much work to do tonight. So maybe I will be awake when you're watching this, Scott Jessica. So, hi, how are you?
Hit him up.
All right, man, there's a sale going on the PlayStation Store that we probably need to address. Make sure that we give our recommendations of the, not too many, like what, 10 games are on sale right now?
Yeah, it's just a couple. And this is courtesy of Mr. Duran Fan VR.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Duran Fan, who posted this on Reddit, made it really easy for us. And yeah, we're going to go through these games one by one, give them the thumbs up or thumbs down, whether we can recommend them or not. And just a couple. And we're going to start with Down the Rabbit Hole for $6.99.
Now, I've got issues with this game, but I know that you've got even more issues with it.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on a $7 price tag for this thing?
Still a huge no from me. I despise this game.
Wow.
I like the Alice in Wonderland IP. I love American McGee's Alice, and the sequel to that one. I thought they were pretty fun. Yeah. But those were like a dark spin, bloody kind of gory dark horror.
Just the way
spin
Alice in
on-
Wonderland should be. Right?
Yes. But no, I thought the puzzles in this game were terrible. I think there was, and like, you know, visually it wasn't great. The tracking was awful with the DualShock 4. This is a huge pass on this game.
I'm not a huge pass on this, and I hope Dylan Gladstone is out there watching, because this is one of his favorite PSVR games. I think it's looks really good for the most part. I think the puzzles are kind of fun. I wish they'd lean more heavily into the collectathon aspect, because looking around for all the invitations was my favorite part of it. But then, like, there was a huge section of the game that was just super boring. And I think, honestly, I hate saying it, that like $7 is the right price for this. Like, I think I gave it a 7, which might have been a little generous on my review.
And it hurt my soul.
Yeah, this is closer to like a 6, I think, and for $7, I think this is the right price. It's fun, it's short, so yeah, for $7, yes.
Yeah, big no. I didn't even have like any trippy stuff. How do you have an Alice in Wonderland and not make it super trippy, man? Come on.
It's a little trippy.
Next, we've got Espire 1 VR Operative for $11.99. I have a problem with this game, and I think you have more problems with this game, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they totally botched the campaign. It's just not fun to play. You know, and it's like, yeah, if you to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna spend $12 just for the challenge maps. It's like, I feel like I have to like the core gameplay to be like, okay, now I'm gonna, like, it's like Astrobot, right? We were just talking about Astrobot in voice chat or on the last show, I forget when, and we were saying that, you know, the great thing about Astrobot is you play through the campaign, it sort of teaches you how to play, and then if you're really hardcore about the game, you go play the challenges, and then the challenges are like, we're gonna not only test to see if you've been paying attention and like learning all the mechanics, but now we're also gonna, like, you know, staple your balls to the wall because this shit's gonna be difficult. And that's how I feel about this. I was like, I have to enjoy the campaign to take it a step further and go do the challenge maps. And I don't like the campaign. I think it's not a good game. And so for $12, I say skip it.
I'm gonna say middle of the road.
I knew that was coming.
Just because you might. We already went through a sale, I think, last week or recently, and there was a lot of games from that you should pick up first. I do love the challenges. I do think a lot of them actually execute the gameplay that they intended to make, like, for the game. The only problem is right now I can't remember if you can skip. If you can just go straight to the challenges, or if you have to do the story for them.
I'm pretty sure, like, there are challenges that I can't unlock because I haven't, No,
Are you sure that's not just because you haven't completed those challenges?
Because I did beat the campaign, so it's because I didn't finish all the challenges. That's what it was.
Right.
I wanted to jump around the challenges and it wouldn't let me. That's what it was.
I would almost say yes, just for the challenges alone, but I would say hold off for now. But I do love the challenges in that game, and I love going up behind somebody and going freeze.
Which doesn't work for me when I do it, and that pisses me off so much. Yeah, I need that to work better.
All right.
Before we move on, man, we got a few tips. I don't want to let them get too far away. We got Donatello, the Scientist Gamecat, with the $5 tip. Says, you guys do have big heads. If you only knew, Donnie. If you only knew. Join Discord. Also, watch Brian's review of Bobble if you haven't already, and then watch it again. I won't even talk about the pizza bet that Donnie and I have, but that is cheating. That is cheating. It's okay, I'll allow it. We also got Ben Dawson with the $5 tip, says, or £5. It says BPM. Imagine if Pistol Whip, Doom, and Crypt of the Necro Dancer had a 3-way and BPM was the outcome. It sounds like I need to play BPM because all 3 of those games are awesome.
I wonder if this is that metal game that somebody was telling me about. It looked like Doom, but it was like a rhythm game. I wonder if it was this game.
Interesting.
And they were like, this should be in VR and AJ needs to play it because it's metal.
Thank you for the recommendation, Ben. I'm definitely going down a flat screen rabbit hole these days, so I may get to that at some point. GC13, the underscore the Diet Pepsi Cat. We all know Diet Coke is way better. $30 tip. Thank you for your generosity. Says to celebrate 10/30, October 30th. Tip train for AJ's live stream of Dread Halls with no lamp on the day before Halloween. Hashtag hire AJ.
God.
Hashtag no lamp live stream. Hashtag SNL live stream.
Oh, man. It's bad enough y'all make me play Dread Halls like every weekend. Look at my beard. This wasn't like this like 2 years ago. This is all started from that, man. Guys, you're aging me. Stop it.
I'm
no lamp.
I'm missing something, man. I'm missing something. Stay warm. The Gamecat with a $5 tip says hashtag no lamp live stream. What is going on? Is this an AJ? Is this an underground inside joke that no one has? I know
sort of. I mean, it's I play Dread Halls like every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They just want me to do runs without using any lamp.
Oh,
just running around. They want me to try to beat it in the darkness now,
Okay.
because as if I'm not tortured enough by just having to play it every weekend. Now I have to do it without a lamp. That's actually pretty scary, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is scary as shit.
Well,
it scared the hell out of me one time running out of oil and like backing up into like a ghost or something. It was fucking freaky.
People on our Discord know that there's an inside joke about the word lamp. It was Rypop accidentally kept writing the word lamp when he was trying to write LMAO, and so now we use the term lamp on Discord in place of laughing my ass off, and we use the response lamp when we're laughing. So I thought it was something to do with that. So I was sort of left in the dark here. Ooh, left in the dark makes perfect sense. Next up, Gadgeteer is $10.49 on sale. Regular price $15.
Gadgeteer. Man, this is a really cool game. I'd still like it to be less, though.
Wow.
I really wish this was cheaper. But if you're dying for one of those like Rube Goldberg kind of like mousetrap effect kind of games, then I could definitely recommend this game, but I'd like it to be cheaper. So I'm gonna be like middle of the road.
I'm giving it a thumbs up, man. I had such a blast with this game. It was so much fun. I feel like I played it during a time where I wasn't even looking. I didn't even want to play puzzle games, and it just roped me in because it makes you feel so good for solving these early puzzles where it's like builds your confidence, and like the first hour of the game is just like, let's mess around, and like it really takes your hand and says, you can do this. I have faith in you, Brian. And then and then it really starts getting challenging. And you're like, I don't even know if like the game's going to allow me to do the thing that's in my head. And then it does. It just lets you do whatever you feel like doing. And so I think there's like there's a ton of different puzzle solutions in this game. And I think it's really, really fun. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a really well designed game and really cool. It's just not for me. Also, he's working on something new.
Well, thank God.
Yeah. We'll see what that is in the future. Next, we have Harmonix Music VR for $5.99. I haven't played this before. I don't think I have it. It's one of the few games that don't have. Brian,
yeah.
Can you sell me?
No.
On it?
No, I'm not going to sell you on it. So many people have been like, "Oh, Brian, you didn't give it enough of a chance," and I've gone back to it 3 or 4 times and been like, "This feels like a cheap cash grab for to be a PSVR launch title." I have a ton of respect for Harmonix, but I don't have any respect for this game. It's an experience, and it just feels like a cheap throwaway thing. And for $15, it was no fun. And for $6, I just don't, but at the same time, I'm the guy who doesn't like the Synth Riders experiences. So if you're the kind of person that loves that kind of nonsense, then you know what? Maybe there's something here for you. Dude, I'm fucking, you guys know I'm honest as hell.
People know I'm friends with you, man. Be careful.
Dude, I'm honest as hell,
man. You can't go saying stuff like that in public.
So, we also got Neon Hat for $17. It's only $15 for PlayStation Plus, but the regular price is $25. No.
Neon Hat?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
No. This game had so many good things, but it's a bad game overall, so no.
Yeah. It should have launched at $10, honestly. Like, it would have been a $10 game, and it still would have been like, it needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah,
no
Prey Digital Deluxe for $12 instead of $40.
No, it's a very limited VR mode, and it's not worth it. It hardly, no.
It's so weird, man. Like there's a cool escape room mode, and I don't know. I got bored of it. I'm not sure what happened. Moving
Project
on.
Luck for $12.49. PS Plus $9.99. No. We're not gonna make Brian do this again.
It's the worst visual novel on PlayStation VR. It's so. It's bad. It's bad.
And then Tokyo Chronos for $20.99. Is this the newer one that we played?
No. Alt Deus is the newest one by these guys.
Alt Deus is the newer one.
Yeah.
That was like almost decent.
Alt Deus is good. Yeah. This should have been a flat screen game because all you're doing is reading. There is no VR interactions. It's just a game that would be great on Switch or Vita. And so unfortunately, I'm still at the point where I'm like, even for $21, it's just not something I want to play in VR. And so I feel like they really screwed the pooch there, as I say. I don't know if that's an actual
So
term.
basically, hard pass on this sale, except for maybe Gadgeteer.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, that brings us to the final segment of the show, which
yeah.
is 20 questions. The losing streak breaks today, Brian.
Whoa, you got some confidence, huh?
As long as you're going to stick with what, as long as you don't change that on me, I am very confident.
I gotta remember what I picked here.
Oh, God. Okay, no, I'm not confident.
No, here it is. Okay, I got it. All set. Can you see it in the reflection in my eyes? Can you? No. Okay. I'm going to put 6 minutes up on the clock, and basically, you guys know how this works. AJ and you guys out there have 20 yes or no questions to figure out what PlayStation VR game I'm thinking of. There's 6 minutes on the clock. If the time runs out or you run out of questions, you lose. I have a feeling you're going to get this one. I do. I'm confident. You ready?
Break the losing streak. Ready, cats? Let's do this. Is it a horror game?
It's not a horror game.
Does it use Move controllers?
It does use Move controllers.
Does it use DualShock 4?
It does use DualShock 4.
Did it come out in the second half of PSVR life cycle?
Let's see. So the first half was 2016, 2017, 2018. Did it come out in the first half? Yes, it did.
Second half. Well, yeah, I don't remember.
It came out in the first half.
First half. Okay.
Sorry.
Is it sci-fi?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's sci-fi. I was going to be like a little.
It's
sci-fi.
Is there melee combat?
Yes.
Is there shooting?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, so far we have a sci-fi game that is shooting and melee combat, uses the DualShock 4 and the moves. That's where we're at right now. We're doing okay. We're on question 7. Is there full locomotion?
Yes, there is.
Good one, Ben Dawson. Okay, there is full locomotion. Okay, I need to start narrowing this down a little bit more. Get a little bit more specific. So there's shooting and melee, sci-fi. There's full locomotion. Ooh. Has the creator made other PSVR games?
No. It's 9.
Are there vehicles in this game? Like that you pilot or you fly or use?
You cannot pilot vehicles in this game.
Okay.
That's
and you said
10.
You said they haven't made any other games on PSVR?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Is it based off a popular IP?
No.
Dang it.
You'll get why I'm laughing later.
Okay. Okay. Does it have? Let's see. Does it have a bow in it? Bow and arrow.
No. No bow and arrow.
Okay, that's 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's not based off popular IP, so it can't be Doom. Is it multiplayer? Nice one, Ian.
It is not multiplayer.
Okay. Never mind. I take that back, Ian. No, keep guessing. Keep giving me some stuff here. Is it based off an unpopular IP? Is it a? Oh, I don't know if I should say if it's.
You're halfway there time-wise, man. You just hit the 3-minute mark.
Okay, is it a good game?
I mean, I would say average.
Are there trains? Diz.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
No, there are no trains to my knowledge.
It's sci-fi. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. There's full locomotion, sci-fi, shooter, melee combat, first half of the life cycle. Is it like a bigger budget game?
No, it's not.
Okay, it's a small game. First half of the. Oh, what is it? 16?
That was 16.
Shit.
You've got 3 more questions and a guess.
Okay. It can't be Solaris. It can't be Mortal Blitz. It can't be Archangel, guys. Come on, guys.
What is Ian going on about? What's with the trains and the buses? I'm so lost about what direction he's going down. I'm missing something.
Does it have aim support?
Does not have aim support.
Shit.
You got a minute and a half and 2 questions and a guess.
Yeah. Why did I ask that? Okay. A minute and a half and 2 questions and a guess.
Yep.
Let's see. Melee combat. There's melee and shooting. Melee and shooting. Did I ask if it was a good game or not?
You did, and I said average.
Average game. Did it come out in the first year of PSVR?
Yes.
First year of PSVR games. Sci-fi shooter.
Hold on a second.
I don't have seconds,
No,
Brian. I have a
no,
timer.
It didn't. It didn't come out in the first year.
It didn't come out on the first year.
No.
So maybe it was like later 2017 or early 2018. Oh, wait, no, but it uses a. I got one question and a guess.
That's right. In 25 seconds.
How much time?
25
25
seconds.
seconds.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh man. No.
Peter Cordova, the losing streak continues.
No. Is it a wave shooter?
No, I wouldn't call it a wave shooter. And that give me a guess because I did kind of take up some of your time with that one of those questions. Give me a guess.
Okay. A sci-fi. Okay, let me remember. A sci-fi move controller and DualShock. Not the first year of PSVR, but the first half. You want to get that? You want to get that?
All you arts
tip
history.
real quick?
The Ghost Cat with the 2 quid says Backlog Club begins today. Come join us on Discord. Hell yeah! I think that's if you're playing video games, playing old PSVR games, or maybe just any games. I don't even know what the deal is there. We're also doing a movie club on Discord, trying to watch a horror movie every single night. So come join us on Discord, man. We also got, dude, we didn't get this tip from Nihilist Ryan, so let's get that too while you're procrastinating. Stop cheating. Nihilist Ryan, the game Feline with the $5 tip says, since we're talking about flat games, we wish we're in VR. I would love a Shadow Warrior VR port, slick first-person shooter with an emphasis on swordplay. Couldn't agree more. I'm gonna need a guess. I'm
just gonna say. I have honestly no idea, man. What is it?
Throwing in the towel?
Yeah.
All right. This game came to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR on October 16th, 2017.
Wow.
Right? So very close.
October 16th, 2017. October 16th,
Flat screen and VR. What is it? It's by Pentadimensional Games, Megaton Rainfall.
Wow.
Uses both move controllers and DualShock. Move controllers got patched in later.
Ben Dawson was the closest, and he said Superman 64.
That's pretty damn close. We also have Professor Lilith with the $3 tip says, Rec Rally, 2 p.m. on Sunday, October 17th. Poll is out now. So this Sunday is Rec Rally, and then there's a poll out for what game we're playing. Multiplayer on October 17th. Guys, again, join our Discord. All of this stuff is happening over there. Links in the description below. Make sure you join us. Dude, Megaton Rainfall. Move controls got patched in later on.
Yeah.
Quite. So it's definitely it's a Superman style game. Is it based on a popular IP? Absolutely not. But then I giggled because it's totally a Superman game.
Woo, that is tough.
That was a tough one.
You know what? I think that game came up in like I thought about that game recently. But man, that's that date. I didn't even remember that coming out in.
No, I would have guessed 2018 or something. I don't know. It was early days.
I didn't remember. Yeah, that was a tough one, man. You got me.
Big time.
Shit.
Guys, that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you so much to everybody who hung out. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who sat back and watched the show and didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there and we love you just as much. I also want to give a shout out to Miles Dyer, shout out to Jay Meow, and shout out to all of our moderators because we need you guys so very much. And of course, Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry, my own Jeremy the NES rookie. I'm so happy you're out there doing timestamps for us. And of course, this guy over here, AJ, can't do the show without him. PSVR Underground. Guys, so excited that you've been so generous with your Patreon support. We're able to actually pay AJ to do something special for PSVR Without Parole, and that'll be on the channel tomorrow. I want you guys to see that your donations, that your generosity is paying off quickly. Right? It's not something we're going to see way down the line. It's already happening. So we love you so very much. Patreon.com/WithoutParoleGames. AJ, can I cue the cat?
You're going to see my first video on Without Parole in a long time, and It is just a thank you to guys. I love you guys, and it's completely 100% dedicated to the Gamecats. So, with that being said, see you Friday. Brian, cue the cat.
Yes.
Because I want to say, see you Friday to Unerex, the Restless Wandering Gamecat. Thank you so much, man. Professor Lilith, hooray, Flame Hat Gamecat, Wolverasa, Twitch of the Single Player Gamecat says, play more dreams. I completely agree. Killer Cell 777 forever. It's just mad love, everyone. Mad love to you too. Steve IRE says, cue the lamp. All you are is history, the Ghost Cats. Mark Pringles Leaf, thank you so much for watching, my friend. Duran Fan VR, shout out to you again. Thank you for helping us with the list. Alberto, my poem, the game Gato. This is cool, the Gato. Geisler, Fistful to you. Gabriel Double for the license me out, Gamecat. Great to see you, my friend. Johnny Sopoltergeist, aka the Boo Flat Ghost Cat. Et.2k9.now says meow. Shades of Gray Matter. Thank you so much, man. Mark, Genetic Blasphemy, the Reverse Engineer Gamecat with $4.99 donation says, man, the web, non-VR, but you can play in VR. In Dreams, they're playing this whole time. Multiple trails. Go now.
Gonna check that out for sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, super cool, man. I absolutely love it. It's stunning. Johnny Rock Papa Stray Cat, good to see you, man. Andrew Bailey, night. Who won, Andrew? Who won? I won, right?
You always win.
King of this shit. Right? I'm the king of this shit.
Dude, Andrew has trained me not to say and stuff ever again. I don't even say it in my real life anymore. So like, thank you, Andrew. It's some weird ass Pavlov shit going on there. You trained me not to say and stuff ever again.
Donatello the Scientist Gamecat says, boop. X-Pacer X. Good to see you, man. Distracted Gamecat. Oh, so good to see so many awesome Gamecats in here tonight. Guys, have a wonderful rest of the week. See you tomorrow.
Make sure you click like and subscribe and all that other YouTube nonsense. We love you.